In just the past month, Capcom has given us not one, but two major looks at Pragmata, and suddenly the game everyone thought was dead is alive again. For years, this mysterious sci-fi project was practically a ghost, announced back in 2020, delayed over and over, and often assumed to be cancelled. But now, between the gameplay reveal at Gamescom and a brand new trailer that just dropped this past week, we finally have a clear picture of what Pragmata is shaping up to be. So today, we're breaking it all down. First, we'll recap the Gamescom gameplay and what the first big demo showed us. Then, we'll highlight the brand new trailer, the new details it revealed, and how it builds on what we already knew. And from there, we'll piece together what the story and gameplay loop actually look like, what questions are still unanswered, and why this could end up being one of the most unique games that Capcom has made in years. And so Gamescom was the turning point for Pragmata. Up until that point, we only had cryptic trailers, the astronaut wandering through Times Square, the little girl with glowing eyes, the surreal shot of the Earth hanging above. It looked cool, but no one really knew what kind of game it was. That changed at Gamescom when Capcom finally showed real gameplay. And the message was clear. Pragmata is all about cooperation between Hugh, the armored protagonist, and Diana, the mysterious child, who seems to control the systems around her. Hugh's side of the gameplay looked grounded. He wasn't zipping around like Dante from Devil May Cry. He wasn't fighting zombies like in Resident Evil. Instead, his combat was slower and more deliberate. He had firearms, he had some melee options, and the enemies he faced were drones, turrets, and robotic constructs. It felt tactical, like you had to pick your shots and manage positioning rather than blasting through hordes. But the real star at Gamescom was Diana. Even in that first slice of gameplay, she wasn't just following Hugh around, she was hacking turrets to shut them down, rerouting power to open sealed doors, and disrupting drones in the middle of firefights. And so she felt like a genuine gameplay partner, not just an escort quest character. And Gamescom also gave us a sense of the station itself. Tight corridors, broken machinery, alarms going off, the place just felt hostile. It wasn't just background dressing, the station itself seemed like an antagonist, always turning against you. And so that demo made it clear, this wasn't just another shooter, this was about surviving in a place that didn't want you there, relying on the combination of Hugh's strength and Diana's abilities to push forward. And now fast forward a few weeks, and Capcom dropped a brand new trailer that doubled down on everything we saw at Gamescom and added more. The first big difference was Diana's expanded role. In the Gamescom demo, she hacked turrets and opened doors. In the new trailer, she went much further. She generated energy shields mid-combat to protect Hugh from incoming fire. She sent out electrical pulses that disabled enemies. She even hijacked drones to scout areas before Hugh entered. And suddenly, Diana wasn't just support, she was a true co-star, directly influencing combat and exploration in ways that we hadn't seen before. Now, the environments were also more varied. At Gamescom, everything took place inside the lunar station. In this new footage, we finally saw the exterior. Hugh stepping out onto the barren lunar surface, using thrusters to float in low gravity, crossing dangerous gaps with the Earth looming in the sky above. And so that instantly broadened the scope. Pragmata wasn't just about claustrophobic corridors, it was about surviving on the moon itself. And the tone also felt sharper in this trailer. At Gamescom, the gameplay looked functional but a little dry. This new footage made the game feel alive. The music, the pacing, Diana's expanded role, it all combined to sell Pragmata as something unique. Not a horror game like Resident Evil, not a fast-paced hack and slash like Devil May Cry, something slower, moodier, and built around a fragile but powerful partnership. And so for the first time, people started to believe Pragmata wasn't vaporware anymore, it was real. And now with both trailers combined, here's the picture we can confidently put together. Hugh is the main playable character. He's armored, armed, and capable, but far from invincible. His combat is deliberate, tactical, and a little heavy. He can shoot, he can fight, and he can survive, but only if Diana is by his side. Diana is the enigma. She looks like a child, but she clearly isn't ordinary. Her ability to hack, disrupt, and even shield Hugh mid-battle suggests something more. Is she an android, a clone, a human experiment tied to the lunar material that the station was studying? Capcom isn't saying yet, but her identity is obviously the mystery that will drive the story. And the setting is a lunar research station, a massive facility thrown into chaos after a quake destabilizes it. Systems malfunction, drones go rogue, and Hugh is branded an intruder. That is the backdrop, a station that once promised progress, now turned hostile, trapping Hugh and Diana in a fight for survival. And then there's this strange material. It's sometimes called Luna filament, that the facility was experimenting with. From what we've heard, it can be used to fabricate or 3D print almost anything. And so the possibilities are incredible, but it seems unstable. and so that instability may be tied to the station's collapse and possibly to Diana herself. And finally, we know when to expect it. After years of silence, Capcom has confirmed that Pragmata is coming in 2026. It will release on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and of course, PC. And now, of course, there's plenty that we don't know yet, and that's where the speculation gets fun. The biggest question is Diana. Who is she? Theories range from her being an android created by the station, to a clone designed to interact with the Luna filament, to even being the key that keeps the station alive. And so whatever the truth is, her role is clearly central, not just as Hugh's partner, but as the linchpin of the entire story. And another question is progression. How do Hugh and Diana grow over time? Will Hugh upgrade his weapons and armor? Will Diana gain new hacking abilities as the story unfolds? Will players choose how to evolve their partnership, or is it strictly scripted? And now we haven't seen any UI or upgrade systems yet, which suggests that Capcom is holding that back for a future reveal. And then, of course, there's the structure. Is Pragmata a linear chapter-based adventure like Resident Evil, or is it more open with players able to explore different wings of the lunar station at their own pace? The new trailer hinted at larger areas, but until we see an extended demo, we won't know for sure. And speaking of demos, that's what I expect next. Gamescom gave us the appetizer, the new trailer was the main course tease, and the next step is a full 10 to 15 minute walkthrough. And that is when Capcom will show how combat, exploration, and story flow together moment to moment. Now, all this feels exciting, but we need to talk about the long road that Pragmata has taken. Back in 2020, when Capcom announced it during Sony's PlayStation 5 showcase, people were intrigued. The astronaut in Times Square, the strange little girl, the surreal imagery, it was a bold new IP and a generation where Capcom was otherwise leaning hard on sequels and remakes. The original target release date was 2022. But then came the delays, first to 2023, then silence. For years, Pragmata was absent from showcases, absent from release calendars, and the jokes started rolling in. And the truth, as the director later admitted, is that development was tough. The team had the concept, Hugh and Diana hacking and shooting, but making it fun took years of trial and error. Systems were rebuilt, milestones slipped, and the project almost collapsed under its own ambition. And that's why Gamescom mattered so much. It was proof that Pragmata still existed. And this new trailer, proof it's not just limping along, but actually coming together. And for a game once thought dead, that is huge. And so why should we care about Pragmata? Well, first, it's Capcom's first major new IP in years. They've been thriving on Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, and Street Fighter, but those are safe bets. Pragmata is a swing at something fresh, and that alone makes it exciting. Secondly, the concept feels unique. We've had sci-fi shooters before, we've had survival horror, but we haven't had a game quite like this. A moody lunar adventure built around the partnership between an adult and a mysterious child, both equally reliant on each other. And third, it shows that Capcom is willing to take risks. They could easily coast on sequels forever, but Pragmata is proof they still want to push into new territory. And so if it works, it could be the start of something special. If it doesn't, it'll still be remembered as one of the boldest swings of Capcom's life. And so here's where we're at. In the span of a month, Pragmata went from a ghost to one of the most intriguing games on the horizon. At Gamescom, we got our first real look at gameplay. Hugh's tactical combat, Diana's hacking, the hostile lunar station. Then, this week, we got the follow-up, Diana stepping into a bigger role, exploration outside on the moon's surface, and a clearer sense of the game's tone. And so we know the basics now. Hugh and Diana are the core. The station is hostile, the gameplay blends shooting, hacking, and exploration, and the game is scheduled for 2026. But the questions are still looming. Who is Diana really? What is the true purpose of the station? How deep will the gameplay systems go? And can Capcom stick the landing after such a long, bumpy road? And for the first time in years, we're not wondering if Pragmata is real. We're wondering how good it could be. And honestly, that is the most exciting place for a game like this to be in. And so my overall question is, what do you think about Pragmata so far from the gameplay that we've seen? Did you completely forget about this game like I did until you just recently saw the gameplay trailer that popped up last week? I didn't even know it came out at Gamescom, so I did some research, saw that there was some, gameplay demos that came out at Gamescom. I was like, oh, perfect. So that's why I wanted to make the video. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about what we've seen so far. Do you think it's going to be good? Are you cautiously optimistic? Do you care? Do you not care? Just let me know. And if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, as I will continue to make more gaming news videos just like this one. Until next time.